Nearly 2,000 years ago, in a cave used as a stable where this church now stands, an event took place which changed the course of history. It was the fulfillment of the prophecy, "Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bring forth a son." From early in the 4th century, since the reign of Constantine, a church has stood here on the site of the Nativity. The town of Bethlehem has remained in Christian Arab hands, and these Palestinian women still wear the traditional headdress which dates back to the Crusades. Down into the grotto of the Nativity, they come in reverence to the spot where Christ was born. "Behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people." A silver star bears the inscription, "Hic de Virgine Maria Jesus Christus natus est." Further on, in a natural recess of the cave, used as a manger, Mary and Joseph knelt beside the divine child. Here, pilgrims have knelt in reverence ever since. But Bethlehem today is far from peace. It has become a frontier town. Scarcely a mile away, a barbed wire fence is the mark of an uneasy truce which divides the land in two. The new state of Israel to the west, Jordan to the east. Since 1948, this ceasefire line has remained a demarcation line of fear. If Mary and Joseph set forth from Nazareth to Bethlehem today, their way would be barred. To the Arabs, this division of the Holy Land brought ruin and exile. Scattered in the surrounding countries, you will see them, 1 million homeless people, even here on the hillsides of Bethlehem. Help came first from other Arab countries, but thousands perished. There were too many refugees, and yet these homeless people have not been abandoned. Many nations have joined hands to help in UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees. Taking over from the Red Cross, Quakers, and others in the field before them, UNRWA today provides relief services for more than 1 million registered refugees. Flour is the main item of the ration. Each refugee gets 22 pounds a month, making a total of more than 1 million sacks a year. To bring food, medical supplies, and sometimes water to the camps and faraway places where the refugees are living, these trucks must cover a distance of 500,000 miles each month. Once a month, the refugees come to collect their rations at the distribution center. Each one receives his share of sugar, fats, lentils, rice, and dates, as well as flour. No fresh food, only food that can be stored. The cost to UNRWA is around $15 million a year, or an average of $1.50 a month per head. For the refugee, it means a diet of barely 1,600 calories a day, enough to maintain life at a bare minimum subsistence level. Help comes in Bethlehem from the Lutherans, whose door is open to hundreds of needy children, among them many refugees. In the shade of this pleasant garden, nearby to the traditional site of the shepherd's fields, each child gets a hot midday meal every day. In every refugee camp, too, there are feeding centers for the undernourished, those in greatest need. The number allowed to come is limited, and they must have special authorization from the camp doctor. It brings them many fresh foods, vegetables, meat, and sometimes fruit, all things which never come in the monthly ration. With people living such an abnormal life crowded into refugee camps, health risks are very great. Doctors and nurses come forward from among the refugees, and with the help of the World Health Organization, UNRWA runs more than 90 clinics, taking special care to protect the health of growing children. Yes, it is the children who must be UNRWA's first concern. 500,000 of them, or 50% of the refugee population, are children under 16. At first, there were no funds for education, but the teachers worked unpaid. They had no books or pencils, often no shelter from the blazing sun, until here and there a few tents could be spared, and the children flocked to learn. Today, the school stands out, the symbol of life and hope for the whole community. End-of-term exams are a serious matter at Dacia Camp School in Bethlehem. Here, the 4th elementary have been set a speed test in arithmetic. For these children, education has become part of the struggle for survival. This little boy may have to come to school in rags, but that makes no difference. The big problem of life comes later. Is he to leave school to find himself unwanted, unemployed? Only for a very few of the thousands of boys who graduate from the UNRWA UNESCO schools is there a chance of coming here. These boys will become skilled craftsmen. In the rapidly developing Middle East, they will not find all doors closed to them. There are many openings for radio mechanics, well-trained fitter machinists, and welders. This training center, set up with help from the International Labor Office, is building up such a reputation that many employers in Jordan and outside now apply specially for Kalandia boys. But what of the refugees who live in camps like this, isolated in remote mountain districts where only thistles seem to thrive and centuries of soil erosion have left no land for cultivation? At the top of the hill above Deir Ammar camp, an idea took shape. A space could be cleared to start a poultry farm. But no one man could rent the land, build the hen houses, or buy an incubator. So here the first small refugee cooperative was formed. It had the support of UNRWA, and once it was properly established, could be officially registered with the Jordan government. The newborn chicks thrived. It brought a change to these refugees' lives, the chance to work and make a little money, to help their families and add something to their rations. A chance to plan, to feel that their lives are their own. And from this first venture, other ideas grew. Here, a group of refugees got together to start a carpentry cooperative. In homes where there are no toys, this will be a wonderful surprise. This is the traditional embroidery of the Holy Land. When they came to sell their work, it would fetch only a few piastres. But they knew that tourists paid nearly double. Their own cooperative now does the marketing and buys the thread, so that everyone gets a fair share of the profits. Not all the members are refugees. They work at home, wherever that may be. Here it is a refugee camp. All members have one vote and equal rights.